Big up everyone, what is happening? Liverpool Profit back again with another live stream. Hope we are all doing well. Like I said, we're on a roll, people. We are on a roll, and let's just keep it going. I'm going to talk a bit more about football in general, talk a bit about yesterday's game, the Madrid game. We did do a watch long on that, so if you haven't checked it out, people do check it out. Me, Rasta, Vigilante, and African King Academy as well. So do check that out, people. We'll discuss a little bit about the Madrid game yesterday. Discuss a bit more about Liverpool as well, our entire situation. Of course, this is a Liverpool channel. I wanted to discuss what Liverpool could realistically win this season, what we should be looking to win, and I wanted to discuss what could Arne Slot do from now till the end of the season, realistically, to save his job and still be the Liverpool manager come the start of the 2026-2027 season in August. So we just wanted to discuss about all of that. Quite a bit to get through today, so let's waste no time with it. Hopefully everyone can hear me in the chat. If not, do let me know down below in the comments. So yeah, um, we'll start with yesterday's game, Real Madrid versus Benfica. I can't lie, I thought that was a poor game. The Madrid Benfica game was very, very disappointing. After everything that went on, you would think that Madrid would be fired up, they'd be motivated, they'd be ready to go for this game, but they weren't. They weren't for some reason. For whatever reason, they were flat, sluggish, slow. Um, and I hate that. I hate that because I think we all sat there and we were all hoping that Madrid would absolutely smash Benfica. I wanted it. I don't like Real Madrid, like I've said before. Do not like Real Madrid, for multiple reasons. But after the whole incident with Vinicius Junior, I wanted them to win the game. I wanted them to win that game, and I wanted them to win it by putting Benfica to the sword, making a mockery at them, putting them to shame. Didn't happen. I thought Benfica, as much as I hate to say it, actually played well, put up a decent fight, went 1-0 up. And Madrid while they won the game, I don't think it's I don't think it's how everyone wanted them to win the game, if you know what I'm saying. A plus was that Vinicius Junior to get a goal. Vinicius Junior got himself a goal. That felt like it was written in the stars. So that happened. Other than that, yeah, Benfica made a decent fight out of it. But really, we all wanted to see a 4-5-0 game. You know what I'm saying? We all wanted to see justice prevail. And while justice did prevail in a way, because at the end of the day, Madrid go through, Benfica go out. Part of me feels like we should have got more from Madrid. Should have got a lot more from Madrid. And it's a weird one with Real Madrid, genuinely. I take everything out of this year now. With the talent that Madrid have in their team, and they have a very talented squad, let's be honest. You have the likes of Courtois in that team. You got the likes of Camavinga. You got the likes of Tucumeni. You have the likes of Valverde. You have the likes of Vinicius Junior in this era. You have the likes of Mbappe in this area, Rodrigo. Look how talented Real Madrid's team is, you know what I'm saying? I think we'd all give anything to have a team as talented as that. You can look who they got on the bench as well. They got the likes of Arda Güler. They have a very, very good side at their disposal in general. So with the side that they have, you'd expect to see them play some nice football, some nice attacking football that entertains everyone. You'd expect them to dominate everything with that team. I'm seeing the Galacticos, as we call them. You'd expect them to win the Champions League. To be fair, they are the kings of that competition, having won it 15 times already. You'd expect them to dominate La Liga and dominate their the two cups that they play in as well, whatever they're called. Never works out like that, does it? Never works out like that, because while Madrid have all that talent, there's one thing that's missing, and that is players that want to work hard, players that have the work rate, players that have the desire and the commitment. Talent can only get you so far in football, let's be honest. Talent is only half of the equation. Having the talent is great. But if you don't have the mindset, if you don't have the mentality, if you don't have the will to want to work hard for your team, for your club, to play for your badge, what good are you? Let's be honest, because talent only gets you so far. I'm saying you got players in the game that aren't the most talented, but what they do have is a lot of heart, a lot of fight, and a lot of desire. And for me, I might be in the minority on this, but give me a team full of players like that over a team of superstars any day of the week. Any day of the week, I would take a team full of individuals that want to work hard, play for the badge over a team of Galacticos, as we call it. That's why I feel that's what I feel lacks with this Liverpool team, this current Liverpool team. I feel there's too much names, dare I say it. You've got Mohamed Salah, you've got Alexander Isak. Naturally, that's going to cause competition for goals. You've got, I don't know, dare I say, the likes of Florian Wirtz. While I don't think Wirtz is someone who has a big ego, but you just never know. A lot of names in here, you know what I'm saying? A lot of old names clashing with the younger names. Van Dijk, Alisson, Salah clashing with the newer players, Isak and that. I feel like there's not enough fight, there's not enough commitment. And that's a big problem for me, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I see the same thing with Madrid. And that's, to be fair, I've seen it with Madrid for a long time now, because for years they've always had talented squads, but they've always kind of never really had a team that wants to work hard, a team that has work rate, a team that will show you no matter what, they will try their hardest. I just don't get that, I'm saying. And while that's all well and good when you're winning, when you're losing, it's a problem, because fans want to see players that run for the badge, play for the badge, give it all for the badge. I'm saying at Liverpool, we never really had that problem, because while our players on paper didn't have while we might not have had the most talented squad on paper, we had a lot of work rate, a lot of talent, a lot of desire, and that can power you do and make a team overperform, which is what I think we did for a long time. I'm saying with Madrid, they have the talent, but they're underperforming. Let's be honest, they are massively underperforming for their standards. I believe they could go trophyless this year, which is mental. Can you imagine that? Who would have ever thought Real Madrid would have a trophyless season? It's mental. So, yeah, man. You know, it's not just Madrid. I remember Paris Saint-Germain had their own Galacticos a couple of years ago. I think they had Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe as their front three. And that didn't work either, because, again, too much egos. You know, when you have a team of egos, it creates problems, because it doesn't just create problems where a team doesn't want to play and work hard. It creates problems in the sense of there's competition in the team. Certain players in the team will see themselves as better than other players in the team. You know what I'm saying? Mbappe definitely sees himself as better than Rodrigo. Vinicius Jr. probably sees himself as better than the whole Madrid team, let's be honest. You know what I'm saying? So again, not enough chemistry, should I say, in Madrid's team, which is why I think it leads to them underperforming a lot of the time, which is why I feel it leads to them, you know, winning goals due to individual brilliance. You know what I'm saying? You want to see a team that plays as a unit, as a team. And when I see a team that doesn't play well and just relies on individual brilliance all game, it's not something I like. I'm sorry, I just don't like it. You know what I'm saying? United, perfect example under Eric Ten Hag. How much games did they wing? How much games did they absolutely wing it in? You know, where they were poor, but a moment of individual brilliance from Bruno Fernandes or someone else wins them the game. Madrid, they're perfect for that, because Madrid play very similar to Eric Ten Hag's Manchester United at times, but Madrid have got a lot more talented players at their disposal to work from. If they don't play well, Mbappe can step up with a moment of brilliance. Vinicius Jr. can step up with a moment of brilliance. Arda Güler, you know what I'm saying? Valverde, Rodrigo, Camavinga, Tchouaméni. All these players can step up with moments of brilliance to win Madrid games. You know what I'm saying? But yesterday's game, let's be honest, it was, for a neutral, it wasn't a great game to watch. It was not a great game. Every single game I go into, I expect to see goals. I expect to see I just want to be entertained watching the game. That's all I want. I want to be entertained watching the game and not be bored out of my score. And there were a lot of points in that Madrid game yesterday where I was bored out of my score. Genuinely. Now, I don't watch a lot of other clubs, I'll be honest. I don't. I genuinely don't. I watch Liverpool games, and then if a Big Six game is on, for example, I'll maybe tune into that. But other than that, I don't watch a lot of games. I don't watch Madrid unless it's a big game. I don't watch Bayern Munich unless it's a big game. So I don't know much about these clubs, but I hear speculation. I see speculation on social media. I see what's going on at clubs. I don't have the full intel on it, but I have an idea. You know what I'm saying? And this season, Madrid have been all over the place, let's be honest. You bring in Xabi Alonso. You bring in a manager who went invincible at Leverkusen, walked the league against a decent Bayern Munich side. You bring him into Madrid with all those egos, him being a young manager. Did you expect it to be anything other than a disaster? Let's be honest. I don't hate Xabi Alonso. I think Xabi Alonso will do well in his next job, wherever that is. Um, but at a club like Real Madrid, let's be honest, you need a personality. You need a proper, experienced manager who knows how to deal with egos. I'm saying, with all due respect to Alonso, as well as he's done so far as a manager, he didn't have egos at Leverkusen. I'm saying, get a team very similar to what Liverpool had under Klopp, where they want to work hard. I'm saying they want to work hard, they want to play for their manager, they want to give their all. So you go from that at Leverkusen to Real Madrid, it becomes a very, very different environment. Let's be honest, a very, very different environment. A lot more tense, a lot more, dare I say, toxic as well. So you get Xabi Alonso going into Real Madrid, and to be fair, from the first game that they played in that Club World Cup, you could tell that they weren't great. You know what I'm saying? Xabi Alonso primarily plays a 3-4-3, or is it a 3-5-2? One of the two in it, and he had to bin that at Madrid. Alonso had to bin his system at Madrid because players were unwilling to work hard. I'm saying he had to go play a 4-3-3, and literally he was just relying on individual brilliance in games. That's kind of what Carlo Ancelotti did as well. But then again, Carlo Ancelotti is Carlo Ancelotti. You know, he's a don in the game, so it's different. But naturally, you bring a young coach like Xabi Alonso and you put him into the Real Madrid job. It's not going to work. It's not going to work because of egos. I'm saying egos are going to be too much for Alonso to deal with. While he can try, naturally, because he hasn't done much in the game as a manager, players are going to look at him and think, who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you to be telling us what to do? That's what Vinicius Jr. is doing. I heard Vinicius Jr.'s relationship with Alonso was terrible. I heard they had a very poor relationship. You know what I'm saying? Mbappe didn't look like he had a great relationship with Mbappe as well. When they lost that cup final and he wanted to do a guard of honor, Alonso was telling the team to do guard of honor. Mbappe was the one who didn't want to go and do it. You know what I'm saying? Now, people might agree with that. I don't, because at the end of the day, that's basic sportsmanship. You know what I'm saying? That is basic sportsmanship. And it's about showing a bit of class. You know what I'm saying? Showing a bit of grace in defeat. So I think again, like I said, disaster from day one. You go into Madrid, you try and implement standards, you try and implement discipline, and you end up getting sacked because of it. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying, like, imagine getting sacked because you put discipline in place with players that they didn't have under the previous manager. Imagine getting sacked because you tell players they need to work harder in training. Imagine getting sacked because you tell players they can't go out partying after games. I'm saying, imagine players down tooling because of that. I'm saying, it's mental, people. It is absolutely mental. Alonso was he walked into a trap. Let's be honest, and it was only going to end one way. While he was getting results at times, felt like he was never going to last. And we know that, to be fair, because when do Real Madrid ever commit to a long-term manager? You know I'm saying, when did they ever do that? I'm saying Zidane, he's been there twice, wasn't there long. I'm saying Mourinho, Ancelotti, who else did they have? Other managers they've had down the past. When did they ever commit to a long-term manager for 6, 7, 8 years? They never do. I'm saying a manager at Madrid will usually get 3 years max, and then he'll be moved on. I'm saying, so even Xabi Alonso going into Madrid this summer, gone. I don't think anyone ever expected him to be there long term. You know what I'm saying? Some people thought maybe he could do well there. A lot of people thought the job was too big for him. I feel if Alonso was backed more by the Madrid president, I feel he could have done well for Madrid. I genuinely do. I genuinely feel that. But he wasn't, man. There's a pecking order at Real Madrid, isn't there? You have president, you have players, then you have manager. I'm saying, when I say president, I mean the Real Madrid president, the owner of the club, and the manager's at the bottom. Now that's not right in my opinion, because a manager should never be below players in a pecking order. They shouldn't be. It should be owners, manager, players. I'm saying players should be forced to listen to their manager, regardless. In my opinion, you can't have president, football club president. When I say that, you can't have club president. You can't have players. You can't have a manager has to be second above players. You know what I'm saying? That's not the case at Madrid, though, for whatever reason, which is weird as hell. I don't know what that's all about, but whatever. I'm saying Madrid now, who's their new manager? Alvaro Arbeloa. Actually, ironically, an ex-Liverpool player as well. Big up Dan Shumbo. Big up Dansham. Ironically, Arbeloa was an ex-Liverpool player too, so doesn't seem to be doing too bad, to be fair. I believe Madrid are top of La Liga for now, or they're in the title race. It'd be weird not to see Madrid win something, let's be honest. It'd be very, very strange to see them go trophyless, but it's possible. Very, very possible. As for yesterday's game, Dom, they weren't great. They weren't good, but they got the win. Vinicius Junior got a goal, and they went through overall. And Benfica dumped out, and I'll be honest, I don't think anyone's gonna have respect. Maybe the comments are working now. Yeah, they are working, Danchum. I can see yours. I can see your comment. So yeah, YouTube was on a madness, wasn't it, yesterday, Danchum? On an absolute madness. You couldn't put comments in. People were trying loads and loads and times. I was in a chat yesterday, and there was 91 people watching, and there was only 4 comments. I was like, that cannot be right. I think people were trying to comment, and like maybe 1 in 50 was going through. Apparently, if you typed it in a different language, it worked out, which was very weird. So I don't know what YouTube were playing at last night, because that would have caused a problem for a lot of content creators. Now, I'm not a big content creator, but a lot of content creators need their chat. They need their chat. They need their community, and a lot of them can get lost without their community, which is what I was seeing yesterday. A lot of YouTubers were very, very lost without their live chat there, especially when they saw there wasn't a lot in there. So yeah, I'm glad that YouTube seemed to have fixed the issue now, though. I'm glad that they seem to have fixed the issue now. But yeah, back to Madrid. Weren't great. Got the 3 points though. 3 points. Got the win, and they are through to the next round. I haven't got a clue who Real Madrid will play in the next round. I don't really care, to be fair. I wanted them to go during this round. Next round, or they can go out for like a, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, for the community, for the world in general, for football, it's a good thing Real Madrid won yesterday, because it would have been a very, very poor look on football if Benfica had managed to get their way during that game, or if they'd scammed their way to the next round. It would have been very poor. Very, very poor. But yeah, so Madrid won. That was the standout game of the evening, for obviously. Wasn't the best one though. Dortmund produced Atlanta produced a decent comeback against Dortmund. Didn't watch the game, probably should have, because it was 4-1. So there was a couple of goals in there. Atlanta produced a comeback from 2-0 down. Again, just like I said, man. I said it, I think I said it last night. Just never know with football. You just never know with football, man. It can show up. Well, it can turn up all sorts of shocks results. You give a team 0 chance going into a game in a tie where they're 2-0 down, 3-0 down, and they just turn it around. You know what I'm saying? Overnight. So Atlanta, fair play to them. Went through. Dortmund bottled it, man. Completely bottled it. 2-0 up. All you have to do is go there, sit deep, and stop Atlanta, but obviously not. What other game was on yesterday? Was there another game on? I think Leverkusen as well was 0-0. No, that was on a Tuesday night. But Paris Saint-Germain against Monaco 2-2. Monaco had PSG sweating a bit. They had Paris Saint-Germain sweating a little bit, which is very, very strange. Big up Kai, bro. Big up Kai. Big up yourself, man. Yeah, big up, man. You'll never walk alone. Big up yourself. But yeah, Paris Saint-Germain was sweating against Monaco again. I'm saying, when the tie came out, I think a lot of us would have said, that's an easy Paris Saint-Germain win over 2 legs. They'll advance to the next round comfortably. No. Fucking no. It's mad. 2-2 it finished. A decent game as well. A very decent game. Ultimately, PSG did end up getting their way through. But again, I think Monaco really let themselves down in this game. 2-0 up in the first leg, just see it out and sit deep. But they allowed PSG to win that first leg. Second leg at the Parc des Princes was always going to be hard. But yeah, PSG go through. Juventus, Galatasaray. This was an intriguing game. Juventus as well. We saw 2 comebacks on the night, people. Atlanta produced a comeback against Dortmund from 2-0 down. Juventus 5-2 down. Almost produced a comeback. 3-0 up, so they pulled it back from 5-2 to 5-5. You got to give them massive credit. Down to 10 men as well. Putting a decent display. Who would have thought that? Juventus down to 10 men. Goal level against Galatasaray at 5-5. So that was crazy. But ultimately, I think them not having an extra man definitely cost them, because I feel in extra time Juventus got tired. Galatasaray had the extra man advantage and they finished it off. Finished 3-2. I think it finished 5-7 on aggregate to Galatasaray. But Juventus should be proud of that. They should be very proud of that performance. I'm saying very, very proud. They pulled it back. And I can't lie, I feel if Juventus had 11 men, they probably would have won the game. They probably would have won the game. So, yeah. But yeah, so the teams that have advanced are Paris Saint-Germain, Real Madrid, Galatasaray, and Atlanta. I'm saying it could have been a very dark day in the Champions League for Italian clubs, because it could have been the first time in God knows how long since an Italian team didn't make the round of 16, but Atlanta will be there. So that's going to stay intact. All in all, a decent night of Champions League football. A decent night. And we'll see where it goes, man. I think now we have the round of 16 coming up, so I think the draw takes place tomorrow. The draw actually takes place tomorrow, so when the draw comes out, we will discuss who gets you and we'll talk about the games, people. Liverpool are going to have a rematch regardless against the team we've already played. We're either going to draw Galatasaray again or we're going to draw Atletico Madrid. So it's just a matter of which one. I think Spurs can also draw one of those two. So Spurs are also likely to draw either Galatasaray or Atletico Madrid. So yeah, want to see who the draw is going to be, man. Hopefully we get some decent games. Hopefully we get a banger in the round of 16. A decent game, two big clubs clashing. We always like to see that. But yeah, like I said, I think Liverpool will get Gala. I can't lie, Dansham. With Gala, it's like I feel like their away leg's the problem. You know what I mean? If you get a good result against them away from home, you can deal with them at home. You know what I'm saying? But it's just going away to them. You know what I'm saying? Ideally, if we do get Gala, I want to see us have the first leg away and then the second leg at home. Because let's say we get the first leg at home against Galatasaray. Let's say we don't get a good result, ends in with a draw. I wouldn't be confident going away to their ground the second leg. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed if we do get them. Whoever we get, it will be tough. You know, Galatasaray are no mugs. Atletico Madrid are certainly no mugs. We know this. You know what I'm saying? They've proven it down the years in the Champions League. They're a good side. They've proven it against us as well. Just whoever we get out of those two, as long as we have the second leg at Anfield, I'll be confident. Slightly confident. But yeah, I want to see some good games. I want to see some big games as well. You know what I'm saying? We will get them inevitably, in the semis, in the quarters, but let's have one in the round of 16 as well. You know what I'm saying? Last season, we had Liverpool versus Paris Saint-Germain. I think we had a big game in every single round last year, if I'm correct. PSG, Arsenal. I'm pretty sure we had a big game in every single round, the quarters, round of 16 and the semi-finals. But yeah, we'll see who we get, how it goes. Guys, there's one thing that's been bugging me, and I keep seeing it floating around on the internet, and it's really bugging me. This Klopp to Real Madrid shit is bollocks. I'm going to just say it now. This Jurgen Klopp to Real Madrid shit is absolute BS. It is not going to happen. The amount of people that are just buying this and thinking it's going to happen. Crazy. So leave the guy alone. The guy is happily retired. Happily over at Salzburg as a sporting director doing his thing. Just leave the guy alone, man. Constantly putting these stories out. Desperately trying to force this Klopp to Madrid thing. It's not going to work for multiple reasons. People are going to see this and say, oh, it's a Liverpool fan saying it. I'll take my Liverpool hat off right now, and I'll give you logical reasons why this Klopp to Madrid thing won't happen. Okay, firstly, let's be honest. Look at the way Klopp plays football. Heavy metal, attacking football. You have to press like a maniac. You have to defend like a maniac. You have to run around like a maniac. Non-stop. Are Madrid players going to run around like that? Are they going to do that? Let's be honest. No, they're not. You know what I'm saying? They don't press. They don't run. They're very lazy. So that's one thing out the window. He won't be able to implement his style of play there. Another thing is the criteria that works at Madrid. You have Perez, you have players, and then you have manager. Is Klopp really going to want to be below the manager? Below the players, sorry. Is he really going to want that? I doubt it. Another reason is, let's be honest, if Klopp can't implement his style, he probably just walks away. He's the type of guy that will just walk away from a club if they're taking the mick, you know what I'm saying? If he sees that players are lazy, if he sees that players aren't willing to do what he wants them to do, he'll just walk away straight up. Another thing is Klopp is a manager who commits to clubs long term. At Liverpool, he was here 9 years. Dortmund 8 years. Madrid don't keep a manager more than 2 years, so that's not going to work. There's another reason. You know what I'm saying another reason. I can give you another one. Let's be honest. Every single club Klopp's been at has had a family environment, a connection between supporters, club, fans. Dortmund had that. Liverpool had that. Madrid, let's be honest, they don't have a connection like that. So it's not a family type environment. So that won't happen. Another thing, I'll give you another reason as well, people. Madrid will never accept, well, their fans will never expect summers where they don't sign players. Klopp, people can say what they want about Klopp, FSG and Klopp saying that, he wasn't backed enough. I'll be honest. Yes, there were times where Klopp probably would have wanted a bit more money. But let's not sit here and act like he wanted tons and tons. Klopp was more than happy working with a smaller squad. He never wanted a big squad to begin with. I think there's this narrative going around that people think he wanted a big squad, but FSG never backed him. No, 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 no. He was more than happy with a small squad, and he wanted a small squad. I'm saying he had opportunities, from what I've read, to sign big players, but he turned it down. I'm saying Madrid fans are never going to accept that, let's be honest. Klopp is very happy with working with players, bringing through players that no one knows from other leagues, turning them into superstars. Very happy working with the youth. Madrid, every season they have to make a statement signing, a Galactico signing. They're never going to accept that. Klopp goes in there, says, I don't want no players. I want to work with what I've got. Madrid fans will go mental. They want to see a shiny new toy every summer. So that's not going to work. I'm saying. And let's be honest, at Madrid, managers don't really get a say in signings. President makes them. Is Klopp going to want to not have a say in signings? No, the fuck he's not. I'm saying. So I've listed there multiple reasons why Klopp to Madrid is a bad fit. You know what I'm saying? But people are still going to be out here pushing this narrative. Oh, it's the Madrid pull. You can't say no to Madrid. Gerrard said no to Madrid. You know what I'm saying? People are going to say, oh, but Trent did this as well. Well, listen, Trent and Klopp are two very different people. You know what I'm saying? I'll be honest, as a Liverpool supporter, Trent always gave me snaky vibes. He always gave me vibes of being a snake. He always did, let's be honest. I don't know if anyone else felt that, but I always looked at Trent and felt he's a bit of a snake. He just has that aura about him, you know what I'm saying? I don't look at Klopp and just think he's a mistake, you know what I'm saying? I think his love for Liverpool, his genuine love and passion for us will probably mean he won't manage again. I'm very confident sat here right now saying that Jurgen Klopp will never return to league football anywhere worldwide. Anywhere. I'm very confident. In fact, I'm 100% sure about it. You know what I'm saying? Another reason why he won't go to Madrid, the man is happily retired. Liverpool, 9 years with us, took a lot out of him, and understandably so. He was drained when he left us. And I look at him now, I see his posts on social media, looking very stress-free, looking very happy, getting to spend a lot of time with the kids. You know what I'm saying? Just in general, very, very happy. Big up AFC always, bro. Big up yourself, man. Big up yourself. Big up, man. Hope you're well. But yeah, in general, Jurgen looks very happy with what's going on, with where he is at the moment. Let's be honest, he's not going to drop all of that and just go and manage Real Madrid. It's just not a good fit. I've listed 10 reasons there why Klopp will not go to Real Madrid. And you know what? You can sit here in the summer and clip this up. I am 99% sure that is never going to happen. Personally, anyway. But yeah, people are still going to try and push the agenda, aren't they? They're still going to try and push the agenda. I'm saying the man's happily retired. Just leave him alone, for fuck's sake, man. Leave him alone. But yeah, I'm very confident that Jurgen Klopp never returns to league football. But I do think he will manage Germany in maybe 2 or 3 years' time. I think that's nailed on to happen. And that, I will never begrudge Jurgen Klopp for managing Germany, because to put your nation's colours on, to put the German gear on, to lead your country into a World Cup, to represent your country as a manager of a national team, to even win the World Cup with your country is a huge thing. It's huge. So I'm hoping Klopp does take the Germany job in a couple of years' time when Nagelsmann leaves, because I don't think he lasts, let's be honest. I don't think Julian Nagelsmann lasts at Germany. So I hope he takes the German job. And I hope he wins them the World Cup as well. So that's what I think happens. But for now, the man's happily retired. So Madrid can piss off. They can go find whoever else they want to find. Honestly, Madrid are in a pickle because they're going to have trouble finding a new manager, because there's no one really out there. I'm saying I did say they might go for Mourinho, but with the whole incident against Benfica, are they really going to go for him now? You know what I'm saying? So who do Madrid get as the next manager? Do they stick with Alvaro Arbeloa? Seems like a perfect fit there. He's a perfect yes man. Won't challenge the players' authority. Won't challenge the club president's authority. He seems like a perfect fit there. So yeah, I'm very confident Jurgen Klopp doesn't go to Real Madrid. And these rumours have been bugging me, man. I've been seeing them everywhere, and I just wanted to discuss them. I listed about 6 or 7 reasons there why he won't go to Madrid. Just the wrong fit for all the wrong reasons. Barcelona, on the other hand, I can definitely see him at Barcelona. While it won't happen, I can see him there. Atletico Madrid, I can see him there. The underdog clubs. But at Madrid, again, it's just not going to work, is it? Let's be honest. You know what I'm saying? I think people have this whole it's Madrid, no one can say no to them thing. Well, let's be honest. They're in for a shock when Klopp doesn't go there in the summer, for starters. But yeah, moving on from that, I don't know why I went on a rant about that, but I'm sensitive when it comes to stuff about Klopp. You know, when people try and wind me up saying he's going to go to Madrid in the gym today as well, it gets under my skin. So apologies for the rant. But we'll move on now to the next topic at hand, which is in the title. What could Arne Slot realistically do this season, from now till the end of the season, to keep his job? Let's have a little think here then. What can Slot do? Well, I'll give you one. Big up Wahaha, bro. Big up Wahaha. I'm glad to see the comments are working as well again, people. I know YouTube was on a madness last night, so I'm glad to see that that's fixed. But yeah, what could Arne Slot realistically do to keep his job at Liverpool? Well, for me, the damage is done, and it really. I don't want to be horrible, but I feel like the damage is done. So realistically, he has to win the Champions League. That's what he has to do. Bring home number 7. If he wins the Champions League, he's got to stay. I can't lie. We cannot get rid of him if he wins just the UCL. We might want to, but we can't. It's like if Arteta wins the Premier League, fans will still want to get rid of him, but the club are never going to do that. Let's be honest. Fans are going to want to get rid of Arteta, regardless if he wins the league, but the club are never going to do that. So again, with Slot, you win the Champions League, win the UCL, bring number 7 on. We can talk in it. Maybe we can talk then. Do I think he can do it? Look, he's got to bring his A game tactically. We're going to need the Slot from last year back. He was very good tactically, so he can. But it's a matter of will he make the right decisions in this tournament. We have the heritage. We have the. That's why I left, because the comments kept. Yeah, AFC always, bro. I know you. I know you were a bit annoyed. I think we were all a bit annoyed, to be fair. But yeah, I'm glad it's working again, bro. I'm glad to see you in as well. Hope you're feeling better as well, man. Hope the medication's going well too, brother. But yeah, he can. But I'm a bit 50-50 on it, because I feel like he'll make a wrong decision somewhere in a game that's going to proper fuck us over. Feel like it depends on the draw as well. Wow. Depends the route that we have. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, big up AFC always, man. Big up. Depends on the route we have. We can avoid a big team until the final, because obviously in the final we will play a big team regardless. We can do it. Ultimately, in the Champions League this season, that's where our better performances have been. You know what I'm saying? Beat Madrid in the Champions League, beat Inter away, beat an Atletico. Only lost 2 games, Galatasaray and PSV Eindhoven. So we can win the Champions League, but it's a matter of will we win it. You know what I'm saying? Slot will have to bring his A game tactically. He will. You know what I'm saying? Because there's multiple good teams in this tournament as of right now. Bayern Munich, for me, are the heavy favourites to win it. I think Bayern Munich will go on and win the Champions League this year. That's my prediction, but I could be wrong. You never know. Paris Saint-Germain haven't had a great start to the Champions League this year, but they didn't have a good start last year and they went on to win it. So you can never write them off. Madrid, look, Madrid are Madrid, man. I know Arbeloa is a bit of a scrub as a manager, but you can never write them off. You know what I'm saying? Everyone, I don't think anyone would have expected Zidane to win the Champions League when he came in, and he did. But yeah, can never write Madrid off. Who else there? City, Manchester City, Pep Guardiola. Can never write them off. Don't think you can write us off ever as well. Barcelona, another team. They haven't won it in ages, but I don't think you can ever write them off. So I've just listed multiple solid outfits in Europe. You know what I'm saying? It's a different ball game. So If you want my honest opinion, I don't think we will win the Champions League. I don't think we will. And with the money we spent, I think the owners will probably look at it and think, okay, if he wins the Champions League, we'll keep him because it's a big tournament. If he only wins the FA Cup, he's got to go. If we only get top 5 and we don't win nothing, he's got to go. So regardless, it looks like he's going to get the boot unless he wins the Champions League. And judging by Slot's demeanour, I just get that vibe that he's a dead man walking. You know what I'm saying? I felt like that for a while now. Since around about early December till now, his vibe's completely changed. He looks like a man who knows he's only here till the end of the season. He looks like a man who doesn't really see himself. Well, he knows he's not going to be here next year, so he's just coming out with whatever. So he's just here till the end of the season, basically. I believe he's probably been told pretty much straight up that if you don't win the Champions League, well, you're off in the summer. You're getting the P45. If he wins the FA Cup, it's a trophy. I'll be happy. A trophy is a trophy. But we didn't spend 4 mil just to win the FA Cup. I'm sorry, we didn't. We did not. So that won't be enough, in my opinion. And I hope the owners will look at it like that as well. So we have to win a trophy. We have to win a trophy, man, and get top 5. That's my aim for the rest of the season. Look, Slot isn't going nowhere this season. He's not. People are still holding out hope that maybe he'll get booted out. No, he's not. So there's only 11 games left, I believe, 10. It wouldn't make sense to sack him now, you know what I'm saying? We should have sacked him. I firmly believe we should have sacked him this season. But we should have sacked him in November. You know what I'm saying? November. Or if we were going to do it around Christmas time, the New Year time. That's when we should have. I feel now he's going to get the chance to see out the season. Like I said, owners think, obviously, that we have more of a chance of getting UCL qualifications with him than we would with an interim. So he's here for the rest of the season. So we may as well just get used to it and accept that. Like I said, my objective is very clear. Win the Champions League. And then you can stay. Well, you'd have to stay, I suppose. Win me an FA Cup and only get top 5, you've got to go. I'm sorry. And then only get top 5, you've got to go. So either way, look, if our owners are really, really serious, yeah, if they had the balls, which I don't know if they do, he'd still go regardless, even if he wins for Champions League. Because long term, let's be honest, he's not going to be the guy to carry us forward, is he? He's not. So if he wins for Champions League, me personally, obviously, look, you'd give him his praises, you'd give him his flowers, all of that. But I'd still be saying goodbye. I'd be saying thank you for number 7, but off you go. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. But again, I suppose if you win a trophy, you've got to stay, haven't you? Which is why it's bizarre that Tottenham got rid of Ange Postecoglou after he wins them a Europa League. No, he didn't just win them a trophy, he won them a European trophy as well. So not only did they break a trophy down, but they have more European heritage now than their rivals across the world, Arsenal. That didn't make sense. But maybe we should take a page out of Tottenham's book if we get to the final and win it. I'm saying, thank you for winning us a trophy, but off you go on your way. Maybe we should take a page out of their book with that. Because again, I don't want to be sat here in the summer and he's still here, and then Xabi Alonso goes to, let's say, Manchester City, for example, or he goes somewhere else. We've missed an opportunity. Because then when Slot does inevitably get sacked, which he will, we've got no one to replace him. We are in a bad position. So, for me, really, in my opinion, he can't really do nothing. He can't really do nothing, in my opinion, to win me back. You know what I'm saying? I can put up with his tactical poor decisions. I can. You know what I'm saying? He makes bad tactical decisions. He's made a lot of them this year. I can put up with that. I can genuinely. What I can't put up with and what's broken the trust for me is the comments in the media. The stuff that he has said in the media about the club and everyone. I'm saying he's constantly come out with demeaning terms about our club, talking about 2 leagues in 35 years. That's very, very obviously a dig at the club. Very obviously a dig at the club. When we won the league in May, he said it was 2 leagues in 5 years. When he's under pressure, when he's feeling it, he changes the narrative to it's only 2 leagues in 35 years. So he's taking a dig at the club there. Now you can try and defend it if you want, but it's blatantly obvious mick taking. He then comes out with another comment about us being in the Europa League 2 years ago. He comes out saying something along the lines of, Jurgen Klopp finished in the Europa League, and they stuck with him. Well, let's be honest. Jurgen Klopp is one of the greatest Premier League managers of all time, one of the greatest managers of all time in general, and he had a lot of credit in the bank, a lot of credit in the bank. Like I said, Klopp could have pretty much done anything in Liverpool, and he would have been let off because of who he was and what he did. So him trying to compare a situation like that is very weird. You know, he comes out with comments after Karabag, very strange comments about talking about Europa League. You know, we've won a game in the Champions League against Karabag. He then talks about us going out to Atlanta 2 years ago, making zero sense again, 0 cents. So he said some very very questionable things. You know what I'm saying? On top of that, you look at his aura. He hasn't got no aura. He hasn't got no charisma. He hasn't got no energy. He just hasn't got nothing about him. You know what I'm saying? It's very hard to connect with someone like that. You know what I'm saying? When we're doing badly, I want to look at our manager and think, can he reassure me? You know, can he sit there and tell us everything's going to be good? Which is what Jurgen did so well. You know what I'm saying? When we had bad times. In the bad times on the slot, we've just kind of been there. We're miserable because our manager cannot reassure us and fix it, the problem. Saying, still doesn't know his best starting 11, by the way. Arne Slot still does not know his best starting 11. He's still experimenting at times. If this was going to work and click, it would have clicked months ago. You know what I mean? At the beginning of the season, I was kind of feeling, big up AJ, bro. Big up AJ. Yeah, YouTube looks like it's back, bro. Looks like it's finally back. Big up yourself, man. Appreciate you being in. Appreciate you, bro. Big up AJ, man. Big up. But yeah, what was I even? What was I about then? Completely forgot what I was saying then. Let me have a think. What was I saying? Yeah. If this was gonna click, it would have clicked a long, long time ago. I'm saying at the beginning of the season, I think we all kind of felt like the signings are gonna need time to gel and that. But as the season's gone on, the more it's gone on, actually, it's become evident that the manager doesn't know how to work with these players and get the best out of them. You know what I'm saying, doesn't know how to. When Stott leaves Liverpool eventually, where does he go? I don't know. Don't really care, to be fair. Maybe he goes back to the Dutch league, whatever. But it's just, for me, it's the same. It's ended like this because last season, after when he came in, he won the league. We were all singing the guy's praises. We all thought we had the next best thing, man. We all thought we had the perfect Klopp replacement. And now, fast forward a couple months later, the guy's been shown out to be a bit of a scrub, to say the least. We'll say that. It's mad because in the summer, like I said, when we signed all them players, I felt that we were creating a team that were going to dominate for the next 4 or 5 years. You know, I felt Arsenal were in a period where they weren't great. I felt City were in a period where they weren't great, going through a rebuild, and I felt everyone else in the league, the quality wasn't there. With the window we had, I felt we were going to create a team that would dominate for the next 4 or 5 years. Slot came out in the media saying all the right things, talking about how we're going to improve the squad. We're bringing in weapons to improve the squad. Everything just felt right in the summer. I'm saying, never would we have sat here and thought, come the 28th of February, Liverpool are going to be sat in, where are we in the league right now? Liverpool are going to be sat in 5th or 4th, wherever we are. We're going to be in the top 4 race. We're not going to be challenging for the title. We're going to be out of the Carabao Cup, and Slot is going to be shown up to be a scrub and not good enough for the job. Who would have thought that, right? Who would have thought that? It's crazy. It's crazy, man. But again, if we can get a trophy out of this season, which we still can, crazily enough, as bad as we've been, we still have an opportunity to get a trophy. We'll take it. We'll absolutely take that, 100%. So for me, Slot, he'd have to win the Champions League to stay. He'd have to win big old number 7. While it's possible, you know what I'm saying, I don't have exactly the most trust in him. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, if we can avoid a big team, a so-called big team, maybe we can maneuver our way to the final. But it depends on the draw, man. I'm saying, and even teams that you underestimate in the Champions League and look past, they end up giving you a game. Like, who would have thought Bodo Glimt would be Inter and go through to the round of 16. Who would have thought that? I certainly didn't. I would not have said that. I would have said that would be an Inter win easily as well. So there's a shock. I'm saying, who would have thought that the Paris Saint-Germain Monaco game would be so close? Monaco pushed them all the way. Who would have thought that? Um, who would have thought Dortmund Atlanta would be Atlanta would produce such a good comeback against Dortmund? You know what I'm saying? Who would have thought that Juventus Galatasaray would have ended up the way it did? Juventus pulling it back. No one. So you never know. You underestimate these smaller teams, and they end up being the ones to knock you out. You know what I'm saying? So every game in the Champions League for us has to be treated like a cup final. It has to be treated like a cup final. So if we can avoid a relatively hard team, maybe. FA Cup, we can definitely win that. You know what I'm saying? We can definitely win the FA Cup. We're still in that. Our next game is Wolves. So we play Wolves away in the next round. We definitely can win that 100%. So if we win the FA Cup, I'll take it. But it's not what we need. And it's not what Slot is going to need to save his job. You know what I'm saying? At the beginning of the season, I said we'd win the league. I said we'd go back to back, and I said we'd overtake United in league titles. I said we'd go deep in the UCL, and I said we'd win one of the domestic cups as well. Now my expectations are different. All of a sudden, now I don't feel like we're definitely not going to win the league, are we? And we're not going to. Well, we can still win one of the domestic cups, but the season still has potential to be somewhat special. It still has potential. It's been a hard one. It's definitely been a hard season, but if we win the Champions League, you've got to class that as a special season. You know what I'm saying? You have to. So let's see what we can do, man. Let's see what we can do. Like I said, Slot if he gets it tactically spot on in Europe, we can definitely win it. Seems like we save our best performances for Europe as well. Like I said, in the league, look, our form's dead in the league. You know what I'm saying? We're very hit and miss. We can win a game, lose a game, win a couple, then lose one. We're very hit and miss in the league. So will we get top 5? I think we will. I think we will get top 5. I expect United to get it because they're only playing one game a week. So I expect them to do it because they've got the advantage there. I think Villa dropped to 6th, but I think they win the Europa League. So I think they win. They get Champions League qualification to the Europa League win. And Chelsea again, very hit and miss. So ironically, I think the top 5 will be the top 5 this year. The traditional top 5 in England, I think, will be what it finishes. I think Arsenal, City, United, Chelsea, Liverpool. That's my top 5. That's what I think it will be. Villa drop out. So we have to take the league seriously as well still, you know what I'm saying? You cannot just put all your baskets into Europe. You can't. Because if you do that and it backfires, you're in a big heap of trouble. Spurs took a massive risk last season. You know what I'm saying? They were out of every competition. They took a big risk going all out in the Europa League because let's say it goes wrong and you get knocked out. You're all the way down there in the league. It's a problem because you're not getting back up there. So I think we still have to push for top 5 and we still have to do well in Europe. You know what I'm saying? If Slot wants to do this whole, we're going to just push the league to a side. We're going to bin the league off and we're going to go all out in Europe. We could end up being well off the top 5 race, finishing 8th, 7th, and then we got knocked out of Europe, and then there's no way of getting back into the Champions League places. So that's a problem. But UCL qualification, that's the bare minimum, isn't it? That is the bare minimum. I don't want to see Europa League football next year. I do not want to see Europa League football. I did it last year, 2 years ago, sorry. It's not ideal. It is not ideal. When you're in it, you want to win it, of course, but I'd much rather be playing on a Tuesday and Wednesday night in the Champions League, the actual European competition. Conference League, Europa League, nah, man. I'm good. I don't want to see that competition ever again. I really don't. It's mad because I was actually disappointed when we didn't win it 2 years ago. I was still disappointed we didn't win it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Big couple of weeks for Liverpool and a big couple of weeks for Slot as well. We're in March. Well, tomorrow is the 1st of March, I think. So we've only got season finishes in May. 3 more months of Premier League football. So that's 11 games. we've got some big games coming up as well. Still got to play United, still got to play Chelsea, still got to play Villa. But our next two games, we play West Ham at home on Wednesday. We play West Ham at home on Saturday. So that'll be interesting. Should be getting 3 points there. We'll discuss more about the West Ham game a bit more tomorrow. I'll drop my match preview for the West Ham game, and we'll come on live as well and talk a little bit about it too. So West Ham away, West Ham at home. Sorry, away from home. That would be a difficult game. You know what I'm saying? It was a difficult game when we played them early on in the season. So away from home, that's a problem. But at Anfield against West Ham, I expect us to win. I'll be totally honest. I expect us to get 3 points there, and I expect us to move on. You know what I'm saying? At the London Stadium, I'd be shitting it. I'm not even going to lie. I'd be shitting it if we were going to the London Stadium, the form that we're in. Hit and miss. So, West Ham at home, I expect 3 points there. Wolves away after that. So, Wolves away the following game. Again, look, Wolves are down. They're down. They're going to get relegated. They're only on 8 points. They're playing for pride at this point. It's funny because when teams get relegated and they play for pride, they usually actually start performing and getting some good results. So I'm expecting Wolves' relegation to be confirmed in the next couple of weeks. They'll probably be the first team relegated before the season ends. So probably maybe a good month or so before the season ends, they'll have the relegation thing next to their badge on the table in red. That's a game you got to win. I'm saying they're not playing for nothing except for pride. But even with that, Liverpool should be going away to Wolverhampton Wanderers and getting 3 points. I'm saying we have to be going there and getting the win. So that should be another 3 points. So from the next two games, I'm looking at 6 points there. 6 points. You then play Tottenham at home after that. Look, Spurs are in trouble. They're in trouble of going down. I still don't think they will go down, but they're in trouble. They're in a battle. So again, Spurs will probably come with their new manager from the looks of it, probably come with a low block and play defensive. We aren't good against low blocks. You know, we're very, very poor against the low block team. So that should be another win. But you just never know with this Liverpool team, man. You never know. I'm saying. We played 3 newly promoted sides this season in Sunderland, Leeds, and Burnley, and we've only won 1 game. And that was thanks to a late Salah penalty. You know what I'm saying? Actually, no, my bad. We beat Sunderland as well. Yeah, we beat Sunderland 1-0. But all in all, haven't been great against lower level teams this season. You can't be drawing at home 1-1 against Burnley when you're defending champions. You can't be drawing 1-1 against Sunderland. I know Sunderland are having a good year. Yeah, cool. Sunderland are having a decent season. They are. But you can't be drawing against them at home. You should still be putting them to the sword. How are you drawing home and away against Leeds? No, drawing against Leeds is bad enough, but you can see 3 goals again at Ellen Road. Concede 3 goals, bottle a 2-goal lead, get back to 3-2 and then bottle it again. I don't know. This season's just it's pissed me off. It's pissed me off, man. You know what I'm saying? It has pissed me the fuck off. Can't wait for it to be over. I'm saying, like I said yesterday, there's a couple of tough decisions that need to be made in the summer. And then we go again. I'm saying we go again. I'm just shocked. I'm genuinely shocked. And not just with Liverpool, with the league as a whole. You know what I'm saying? I never expected Spurs to be down where they are in 17th. I thought that was a one-off and it wouldn't happen again. Lord and behold, that's 2 seasons in a row they've been mid-table. I never would have expected United to be in the top 5 race. I thought they were well off that. But here we are, they're in the top 5 race. You know what I'm saying? And City as well. I would never have expected City to be as hit and miss as they are. Because they've been very hit and miss this season. Whether they win the title or not remains to be seen. You know what I'm saying? Remains to be seen. So it will be an interesting end to the season. Like I said, for Liverpool, for Slot, you have one job. Trophy and Champions League qualification. You know what I'm saying? Trophy and Champions League qualification. For me, anyway. But yeah, like I said, multiple good teams in this competition. In the Champions League, so it won't be a pushover. Like, for example, if we get Bayern Munich, we're cooked. Straight up. No excuses. I can't say anything. If we get Bayern Munich, we're cooked. We are in big trouble. huge trouble. So you don't want them. I saw a link that I saw a rumor that if we get to the quarterfinals, we're gonna play. I believe it is Barcelona. Well, again, it's not the worst draw, but again, that's not ideal, is it? You know what I'm saying? We haven't. It's mental how we haven't played Barcelona since 2018-19, when we beat them 4-0 on the historic night. It's mental how it's been so long since we played them in the Champions League or in general. So you don't want to face Bayern Munich. You don't really want to face Paris Saint-Germain either. You know what I'm saying? I know, like I said, I know Night Time Kid. Big up Night Time Kid. He's not here at the moment, but I know Night Time Kid isn't a fan of Luis Enrique. Hates Luis Enrique's guts, but to be fair to Paris Saint Germain, they started the league off poorly last season. They started I'm pretty sure they just about qualified. They just about qualified for the playoffs. Last time out in the Champions League, so they just about qualified for the playoffs. They got through, and then they killed it. You know, after the round of 16 onwards, they killed it. Beat Villa, beat Arsenal, beat Inter, or destroyed Inter in the final. So you can never write them off. You know what I'm saying? Who's to say that they won't do exactly what they did last year again? Who's to say that? They're a very good side. They can't be underestimated. Manchester City as well. Like I said, Pep Guardiola. You never know. This could very well end up being Pep Guardiola's last season. It could. If he doesn't win the league, maybe he can win the Champions League as a send off. Who knows? Maybe he wins for UCL as a way of going out, bowing off to the sunset. So they'll be up for the Champions League. Anyone else? I would say an Italian team, but they're not good. Let's be honest. Juventus nowhere near it. Atlanta are not going to win it, respectfully to them. So again, I said Bayern Munich, but again, who knows? Who knows, man? The UCL can throw up all sorts of upsets. I think it will either be an English club who wins it, a German club, or a Spanish club. That's what I think personally, innit? Madrid, you never write Madrid off, man. You know what I'm saying? Madrid, absolutely. If there's one thing Real Madrid know how to do, and I'll give them credit for, it's the fact that they know how to scumbag their way through and win these tournaments. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. That's what I'll credit them for. So you can never write them off. Even with Arbeloa, you can say Arbeloa is not a good manager. This, that. The quality in that squad is still there. You know what I'm saying? The quality is still there for them to get to the final and to power their way through. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you can't write them off. You can't write Barcelona off. And then outside shouts as well. You know, Arsenal. You never know. Arsenal haven't done it in Europe. They've got no real pedigree. But I suppose you can always put them up there. Chelsea are another team that I don't think people really speak about when it comes to winning the Champions League. But they did it recently, back in 2021. So you can never really write Chelsea off. You know, with Liam Rosinia, they look decent now as well. Had some good results. Look like they're playing some decent football. Can never write them off either. So yeah, like I said, a lot of good teams in the Champions League. A lot. If we can avoid maybe Bayern, if we can avoid Paris Saint-Germain, yeah, I'll give us a chance to win the whole thing. I'm saying, if we play Arsenal in a Champions League game, I'd expect our pedigree and our heritage to show and for us to make it through. But yeah, man. Yeah. Our next round, Galatasaray or Atletico Madrid, bring it on, man. Home and away against Galatasaray again. Away against Galatasaray again. Bring it on. We didn't do well last time, but again, should that not be extra motivation? Because I'll be honest, Galatasaray, they fucked us about last time. They fucked us about from the whole that whole trip there was crazy. I'm saying we get there, the Galatasaray fans were outside the team's hotel all night, intimidating them. We went to the ground, got intimidated, and lost. So if we got anything about us, we'll go into that Galatasaray game with a point to prove. I want to put it right. You know what I'm saying? If not, then what the fuck's the point? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, deal with them away from home. If we can deal with them away from home, we'll have a chance against them at home. You know what I'm saying? I back us at Anfield to beat anyone. You know what I'm saying? Even in a poor year, I back us at Anfield to beat anyone. We've been poor this year. Absolutely dreadful, and we still beat the league leaders Arsenal. Somehow. Granted, it was at the beginning of the season, but we still did that. So, at home, the Anfield factor, I back us to beat anyone. Genuinely. But it's away from home. You know what I'm saying? That's what I worry about. Just want to have that first leg away. I want to have the second leg at home. But who knows how it's going to work, man. I think we see. Is it tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, sometime tomorrow? I think sometime tomorrow the draw comes out. I don't usually get to watch the draw. I genuinely don't. I know a lot of people tune in. They do watch longs for the draw and that, but I never really get to do that. I usually just hop onto social media and I'll see who it is from there. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's come out already. So yeah, what I can see here, people. So Paris Saint-Germain will get either Barcelona or Chelsea. Newcastle will get either Barcelona or Chelsea. Galatasaray will get either Liverpool or Spurs. Atletico Madrid will get either Liverpool or Spurs. Madrid will get either Sporting or City. Bodo Glimt will get either Sporting or City. Atlanta either Arsenal or Bayern. Leverkusen either Arsenal or Bayern as well. I don't know how that works. I don't know how to. I'm not sure how that works, people. But all right, cool, whatever. Whatever, man. Whatever. So yeah, we'll see who draws who tomorrow. We know who Liverpool are going to get. It's going to be either Gala or it's either going to be Atletico Madrid. You know, Atletico Madrid. People will say Atletico Madrid are washed. That Atletico Madrid aren't great this season. However, they still pushed us all the way at Anfield in the first game. We're 2-0 up in that game, cruising. They put it back to 2-2. Let's be honest, should have probably ended in a draw. If we're being realistic about it and honest, it should have ended 2-2. Virgil van Dijk, the captain, steps up with a moment of brilliance and wins us the game. But Liverpool weren't good there either. We weren't. So the Wanda Metropolitano is not easy either. We've been there twice in recent years. Lost there back in 2019-20 season. We ended up getting knocked out to them that year as well. A couple of years later, was it 3-2 we won there? Again, we were 2-0 up against Atletico too, away from home that year. They put it back to 2-2 and make it hard. So that won't be an easy team to play either. Simeone, people say Simeone is washed. For me, look, Simeone. Atletico Madrid are very tactically astute. They know what they do and they execute it well. People, it's not everyone's cup of tea, to be fair. A lot of people don't like the way they play football. But to be fair, it's effective. And they've won a Champions League playing that style of football. So who are we to judge? Who are we to judge people? You know what I'm saying? You play however you play to get to a UCL final. You know the ones there. So playing them. And Atletico Madrid they're not even a defensive team no more, let's be honest. When we played them under Jurgen, the 4 times we did, they were very defensive and compact. This season, they actually went toe-to-toe with us. And gave us a game. So they're not exactly the most defensive side. So anyone who says they're a defensive team, just talking absolute rubbish, let's be honest. But yeah, people, that is it for me today. I'm going to end the stream here. I'll be back later on Rasta's channel with the From the Stands pod. So it will be me, Rasta, Vidge, and King. So that'll be out. I think it's 11 or 11:30. I'm not too sure. So I'll be back later on. Big up to everyone, man. Appreciate everyone who was locked in. Just do a roll call before I go. Big up to AJ, legend in the building. Big up to AFC always as well, legend in the building as well. Big up to Waha. Big up Waha, bro. Who else was in here? Big up to Danchum, legend Danchum in the building. And big up to Kai as well. Big up Kai, man. But yeah, big up every single person in the chat today. Big up to everyone. Appreciate everyone locking in as usual. I'll be back tomorrow with another live stream. Tomorrow I'll actually drop a match preview, so I'll do a pre-recorded match preview on the Liverpool versus West Ham game. So thoughts and feelings ahead of it, score prediction and predicted XI, all of that. I'll also drop I'll drop another live as well, so we'll discuss the game on live as well. We'll also we'll discuss the game on the live stream, should I say, a bit, and we'll discuss tomorrow's UCL draw. So Liverpool will be drawn. We'll see who we get. So we'll be talking about that as well. But yeah, other than that, people, appreciate everyone locking in. Big up to you all. Peace. I am out. Big up to you all. Bye.